I'm going to be answering some of the questions that we get. We get a lot of questions on YouTube, and I just realized it's a good opportunity for you guys to all learn from these questions. I could just write that person and answer back, but it's better for me to answer the question right here live for you guys to learn from as well. How do I raise rents without my tenants hating me? Here you go, guys. So every landlord has a predicament that they're in, which is they need to raise rents up to what the market is, to what properties around them are, because landlords' expenses go up, right? Real estate taxes, insurance, cost of maintenance, cost of labor, all these things do increase. Landlords are not just trying to raise the rent so they could make more money. I'm sure that's part of it, but that's not all of it, because our expenses are going up as landlords. So we do need to pass some of these things along down line, and we do need to keep up with the market for properties and for rents in general in a market. So landlords do need to raise rent. Sorry, it's true, but we do, to keep a property going. So the way you do that without a tenant's hating you is you add value. And if you're going to be charging rents, rarely will we just increase rents or say, hey, your rent's going up, a couple $100 or whatever. If state laws allow us to increase it by that much, we rarely do that, if ever. What we try and do is try and deliver value in exchange for charging money, right? So we'll go to the tenant and say, hey, tenant, you're paying $850. The market's $1,000. Here's proof of that. So we need to get you up to $1,000, but don't go running for the hills. Here's what I can do for you. What if I give you new appliances for that $150 per month? What if I change out all your light fixtures and do low energy using LED fixtures, right? Meaning, like, you go to work in the morning at 8 a.m., you come back from work at 5 p.m., and you'll have new appliances and new light fixtures, because I can knock that out in a day, maybe two. So the tenant may be receptive to a increase in their living standards, the things that you're giving them as the landlord in exchange for more money. Now, that's a win for the tenant, because they're still going to keep it around market. They don't have to deal with moving. And if they did move down the road, they're going to pay $1,000 for that 1 or 2 bedroom that they're in anyway. So why not stay where they are, not have to deal with the hassle of moving, which is going to cost them time and money. Then they get these things of increased value, right? For you as a landlord, a new appliance set could cost you $2,000 plus another $1,000 for new light fixtures, so $3,000. But for $150 a month, right, that's $1,800 per year. So for a $3,000 investment, you're making $1,800 a year, which is more than a 50% ROI. That's good business for you, but it also benefits the tenant's lifestyle. That is a win-win, right? So that's how you do things without tenants hating you, is you give them something. If you're asking for something, give them something. 2 cents, right? We're going to be moving away from doing live sessions on YouTube. We're going to be doing all live sessions exclusively on DeRosa Insiders Facebook page, because we want to keep the conversation more exclusive on DeRosa Insiders. We're going to be upping our game on deliverables and cool free stuff that we're going to be giving the DeRosa Insiders people, because it's a free community. Take a minute right now and join it. It's free, right? Everybody's got Facebook, so it's free to join anyway. So might as well join us out there and take advantage of some of the free stuff, including these live sessions that we have. That's what we got. Thank you.